few people in here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, everybody.
We are live.
First
Hi.
time officially doing this. Exciting.
Cody's monitoring your comments, so if you comment anything, he will let us know.
Only the good ones.
Only the good ones. Hopefully you make the cut.
And this is not the Infinite Awesome Cape and Cowl Book Club show.
No.
Nice work. Not yet.
That title sure is a mouthful, wouldn't you say, folks?
It sure is
Ow.
the best.
Well, I say we start because I think chances are some people are going to watch this after the fact, right? It's not,
Probably most.
yeah. So maybe some people will join us and comment and whatnot, or they can just watch it later.
Yeah, so let's say what we're doing. We're going to be expanding on our picks of the week that we posted all over socials today. We're going to expand on why we chose them, which is going to be fun.
Yeah. Can you show the video that we made earlier? Our robots video?
Oh, you know what? I didn't try to save it. I saw that you sent it.
Oh well.
I know this is very engaging for everybody to watch. Me going through emails.
Cody Keene, Cape and Cal, just a moment.
Oh yeah, I totally did save it somewhere actually. Sup, Julio?
What's up, Julio?
Sup, dude? You ready to hear about some comic books?
Yeah.
Sneak peek of one of mine.
Well, if Aton's going to sneak peek, then I'm going to sneak peek.
Stop it. You're spoiling it.
Out of control.
Julio, I think you'd really like Scumbag.
True.
It's pretty great. Oh, boy. All right.
Let's just get started, right?
Let's kick it. Do it.
Yeah, somebody should go first though.
Aton, you go first.
I'll go first with the one I just teased. This week was Dark Knight's Death Metal, Robin King, #1. Which Death Metal is this big event that's going on, follow up to the original Metal by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, which is Death Metal is a 7-issue series, but there's just like a million of these rad one-shots coming. They're like bi-weekly, I guess. And this is one of the more exciting ones to come out. The art is by the great Riley Rossmo. Well, try to show it there. Super fun, super wild, super brutal. Basically, the idea of this is Robin King is an evil Bruce Wayne from the Dark Multiverse who he actually killed his parents in the alley when he was a kid. And then instead of becoming a Batman, he decides to becoming a bat. He's inspired by a Robin, which is like the most vicious of the birds or something. And he becomes a Robin King. And in his world, he just goes through and just destroys all the superheroes. And this one shows him doing that. It's just like 30 pages of the Robin King killing superheroes. And then until the Batman Who Laughs comes to kind of recruit him to take down the heroes on the of the remaining Earth that the Batman Who Laughs is trying to take over. So awesome book, a lot of fun. Highly recommend. Death Metal, Robin King, #1.
And it basically felt like that's the way that Batman would kill everybody if he actually went that far. Like all of the planning and all the gadgets and gizmos, so Batman-esque.
Totally.
It was great.
A big part of it was him creating like this evil utility belt. It's cool. It's written by Peter Tomasi, who's one of my favorite writers. I think one of the more underrated superhero writers out there. So big fan of this one.
Nice. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go clockwise. You next, Cody.
Okay, cool. If people are in the chat, can you tell us a little bit about how our audio sounds, if it all sounds good? I'm just paranoid. It's probably fine, but like if you happen to be listening, tell me how it sounds.
Yeah, just let us know if you're hearing doubles of stuff, because we hear doubles of stuff, but we're not convinced that it's making its way through all of the various microphones. Julio, I see that you want a number one of Scumbag and number one of the Robin King. I'll pop those in your box.
Nice. All right, Julio.
All right, cool.
Julio
I'm making a note.
Slight echo.
Okay, I'm gonna try muting my mic when I'm not talking and see if that helps with the echo.
Yeah, it probably would.
Okay. All right, Julio, I'll write you down, and I'm gonna go on mute while Cody talks about his books.
Delaney says, little echoey.
Thanks, Delaney. That's my wife. No, that's Kevin's wife.
Okay, cool. So
What you got, Cody?
cool. So I'm just going to start with what was my favorite of the week. Let me see here. This is Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 7. I've been a huge fan of Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy run because he's highlighting characters in Marvel that I am obsessed with, but like a lot of people are just kind of like, wait, who was that? But if you like those underdog characters and you like Cosmic Saga Marvel, he's really taken them and turned them into full-fledged people. Donny Cates did that a lot too, but Ewing really kind of pushes that. He's kind of known for doing that. He did that with a bunch of B-list characters. He made a whole Avengers team out of them, and he's kind of giving Guardians that same treatment. Characters like Marvel Boy are just taking center stage in this, and this is just an awesome issue because not only is the amazing art by Marcio Takara, but it had one of my favorite like sci-fi tropes ever, which is like diplomatic meetings between like fucked up looking aliens from other planets and galaxies. Like there's a horse person with a green mohawk, which is just like very much what I look for in my comic books, is like horse aliens with mohawks and just like talking about like political intrigue and what they're going to do basically in the aftermath of the big blockbuster event this summer, Empire. The Kree and Skrull have an alliance now, and that's like a huge deal for Cosmic Marvel. So these aliens are all getting together, like heads of like a bunch of different societies are getting together to figure out how to deal with this and the new structure of the kind of galactic climate. So it was really, really awesome. Marvel Boy dresses up like Adam Ant, and that alone is worth admission. So you should definitely buy this book. So like the run stays and we get it for a long time. Please.
Show us your favorite page of Novar, sorry.
So the Adam Ant, he just walks in and he's just mobbing with this outfit, and it's like
Looking good.
like that's the Marvel Boy content we need. Like if anything is Kieran Gillen approved, it's that panel.
100%. 100%. All right. Well, I guess that means it's my turn. So I'll start with the one I teased, in which Julio is super interested in. It's called Scumbag by your boy Rick Remender and art by LaRosa. It is essentially a story of a terrible thing happening to Earth, and they need a savior. And this just piece of shit junkie happens upon some superheroes in an alley and gets the powers to save the universe. Not on purpose, mind you. Having trouble with what? Oh.
Oh, Kevin's moving again. Is he back? I'm moving. Cody's not moving.
Well, that's not good.
I'm muted talking.
I guess we're having a little technical issues with Cody being frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. So our host just dropped out. I don't know if the show's still going, I'm assuming, right? Like, yeah, I think it's still going.
Show's live up on the corner.
Cool.
Okay, stall.
All right, Cody will be back. Cody will be back. Yeah, Scumbag is just great. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read a book called The Pro. It feels a lot like that, where just like this absolute just waste of space gets powers that they don't deserve. And I really am excited to see where it goes. Rick Remender writes great, weird sci-fi shit like this, so it's going to be fun. And that's my first one.
Yeah, that's a really fun book. If you like raunchy humor with
So
really good
raunchy.
art.
So raunchy. I don't know if you guys saw the picture I was showing earlier. This is who we have that's going to save the world.
Pooping himself while trying to shoot up in the alley.
Is he really in an alley though? We don't know. Tune in to find out.
All right. I hope Cody can come back soon.
Hey Cody, can I send you the link to email and you join on your phone? Yeah, do you want me to in it? I could forward it to you.
Sure.
Okay. Please hold.
While they figure that out, I'll talk about my next book, which was Stillwater #2 from Image Comics, written by Chip Zdarsky and drawn by Ramon Perez. Chip is famously the artist of Sex Criminals, and he's the current writer of Daredevil and something else, maybe. But this is his new creator-owned series from Image. And the premise basically is there's this town, Stillwater, where people can't die. They basically can heal from anything. They don't get sick, whatever. But it's only within the boundaries of this town. And if you say you live there and somebody were to take you outside of the border of the town, then they could kill you. And this is the kind of town where I guess shit like that happens. Basically, there's these group of young travelers, and they stop in this town for I don't know what, I forget. Maybe they're there to visit family. I'm like really struggling to show the book and talk about it with my face in there at the same time. But they end up stopping this town. They end up witnessing basically a kid is messing around and he falls off a roof and he falls in the middle of the street, and by all accounts he should have died. But he doesn't. He just springs back up, and these outsiders see it, and the people who kind of run the town are not going to let them get away with it. So by the end of the first issue, they've got like the main guy all tied up, and they're deciding how they're going to kill him. And this issue picks up there, and you get somebody trying to come to his defense. You get somebody trying to kill him. You get some great, awesome, exciting moments for like what a town where people can't die might be like, especially when everybody's a badass. So it's very cool. Ramon Perez, what was he the artist on?
Ramon Perez, I'm not sure.
I thought he was one of the X-Men people, but I could be completely.
Let me check.
So he recently did Giant Size Magneto. Was one he recently did.
Okay. But I like the art. It's good. It's a really solid story. Chip Zdarsky is a hell of a writer. And he writes like cool drama and stuff, which is kind of surprising if you like follow him on Twitter or anything, because he's fucking hilarious. And it doesn't seem like he could ever be serious, but he pulls it off really well. So Stillwater, issue 2 this week. We still have plenty of issue 1, which I think became a collector's item. So get on that shit, but read it. Boom.
Yeah, don't be slacking. It's real good. And I guess Cody's next, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're all back. Thanks for fixing that mute.
Yeah, that was an ordeal, but we did it. Yeah, another thing I wanted to add about Stillwater, if anybody likes American Horror Story before it started sucking, so like season 1, Like that
Oh my-
premise was like if you die on the property, you can like come back to life. And how cool of a concept that was. Since it's American Horror Story, it fumbled it. I know, don't at me. But if you liked that concept and you wish it was done better, pick up Stillwater because they're doing it right. Okay, so shocker, I'm going to talk about X-Men. This is X-Men 13. It just came out. The art is by Mahmoud Asrar this time, who did X-Men Red and was stellar on it. I think before Carmen Carnero jumped on Red, but Asrar is doing this issue. He's done another issue of X-Men. He did the Brood issue, and it was fantastic. He's back to do this issue that's very Apocalypse-centered. We're in the middle of our questing to get our swords in this series, and Apocalypse gets one too. He gets this like traditional Egyptian blade, and it's so dope. But what's better than like the actual quest in this book is actually what happened in the past. We get up more like exposition heavy Hickman stuff, which isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. I love when he kind of like hits us with all this stuff. And this one was no exception. This digs into the demons of Amenth, and it digs into the history between he and Genesis and how everything kind of fell apart when Iska the Unbeaten changed sides. I'm not going to spoil this book, but I just wanted to tell you that's kind of what it flashes back to, because we've seen a little bit of Iska the Unbeaten. She's the one that, you know, she can't lose. And so like anything she does is her powers activating. And we found out in a previous issue of X-Men, she left their side in the war with Amenth. And so they were like, oh, it's going to be like that. So anyway, this kind of like jumps into that, what happened when Iska turned, and you find out more about Apocalypse, and it does something to Apocalypse that makes all prior Apocalypse stories have a brand new angle. And I love that. If you dug the whole reveal with Moira, this is like not that big, but it kind of does, it recontextualizes a lot of Apocalypse material, and it's great. Another awesome installment in Ten of Swords.
I have a question, Cody.
Yeah.
About that issue. Didn't Apocalypse get two swords? Or
it's weird. I thought he was going to get two, but I don't know. This issue made it seem like it was one.
Was it okay? Because I thought it showed two. They were talking about two, but I was drinking.
Oh, are you talking about Godkiller and Grasscutter?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't remember if this issue dug into that, but we all are thinking that it's going to be Gorgon to wield those.
That's traditionally been his blades, right?
You're muted, Kevin. You're muted.
Didn't Gorgon have the grass cutter?
Yeah. So we're thinking it's Gorgon's deal.
Yeah. That'd be fucking
And
sick.
Jonathan
I need some more
Hickman,
Gorgon in my life.
and Hickman loves Gorgon. I mean, he's like the only one that uses him, and he's been using him since like the Secret Warriors days, like the Shield days.
I think that's how I know Gorgon is from those comics. Yeah.
So that went right over my head. Don't drink when you read comics, folks, because you're just like, well, just give all the swords to fucking Apocalypse. Okay.
All right. Well, I suppose it's my turn now.
I mean,
Can you
in the
guys
age
tell-
of Krakoa, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I was just gonna say, can you guys tell who a professional YouTuber is out of us three? Cody, you look so professional over there. I love it.
I usually don't have friends to talk with about comics, so this is exciting. I'm usually alone. I mean, I talk to you guys all the time, but like not on like a video capacity.
Oh no, I get it.
He just doesn't consider us friends. He still doesn't have friends to talk to. Just us. Just kidding.
So my book, the next book I want to show off is the new issue of Iron Man. And let's just start by taking a gander at that fucking cover. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Make me big, Cody. Make my screen big. Yeah. Thank you, Cody. Anyways, it's great. Iron Man's trying to get back to his roots. He's streamlined his Iron Man suit. He's stepped down from the board of Stark International. And it just seems like all his rogues villains his like rogues gallery is coming out to fuck with him. Like we've got Arcade, Absorbing Man, Cardiac, and of course Cody's favorite, Patsy Walker, Hellcat, who's just like is the most tough love friend that Tony Stark has needed his entire career as a superhero. Like he's never had someone like this in a comic with him who is just ripping him apart in order to build him back up, but just breaking him down, and it's great. Let me show you guys some cool pages from it. And feel free to chime in, Cody. I know you got some stuff you want to say about it. You love this episode, this issue.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too, like she's like you said, breaking him down to build him up, and it almost seems like conscious on Tony's part, because in the first issue he pulls her aside and he's like, "Do you want to go do the hero thing?" And she's like, "Are you kidding me? I always have my costume on me." So it's like really like it's another effort he's making. Oh Jesus, get the fuck!
Nope, it's cool. Hold on, I'm gonna mute.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. Hopefully it's quieter now that now that the phone's not right next to Kevin's mic.
I muted the ringer on my end, so hopefully it doesn't sound. And so, okay, I'm gonna show you guys one of my favorite pages in here. Did you know that when Tony Stark gets a phone call, he's got to put on his goddamn helmet?
I thought that was weird. Like there has to be a more streamlined way for him to answer a phone call.
Yeah,
but there's
like
a cooler way for it to answer a phone. And that's the coolest way to answer a phone call. You put your Iron Man helmet on.
Yeah. So that was like, I liked that little scene. There's a lot of other great stuff to love about this issue, but it's very action heavy. Like I said, he's just duking it out with these classic villains that I feel like I haven't seen in a long time. When was the last time you saw Cardiac in a story?
Real and
It's been a long
Unicorn.
time. And Unicorn.
That was awesome.
And I liked the arcade reveal too. How Tony's just like figured it out. He's like, oh
my god, yeah. See, Christopher Cantwell is another one of these writers that likes shitty characters, and it's so good.
So good. Yeah. So that's my second book. Go ahead, Eitan.
My favorite part about that issue is I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like a moment where to save the day, Tony has to do something where he's like clearly going to be injured. In fact, he like asks the armor like, "How bad is this gonna hurt me?" And he gets like a 4-panel breakdown of how awful this like move he's about to make is going to be for him physically. And like, he doesn't slow down. He doesn't change course. He doesn't consider other options. He's just like, break it down for me because this is what we're doing. So how fucked up am I going to be? And that made the whole issue for me. I love it.
It was good. I like the scene that directly followed after he went through with that, where he's just like, yeah, it's so good. All right, well, that's my second issue.
Does that mean it's
back to you?
Coming around to me. Okay.
Back to Eitan.
I'm covering the spread. I did DC. I did Image. I've got a Marvel book for my number 3 here. Maestro number 3 by Peter David with art by German Peralta. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. But Herman Peralta. Well, so I've never read the original Future Imperfect. I've never read a comic with Maestro in it at all. I haven't even honestly read a lot of Hulk stuff generally, other than like Marvel events I've read, where they usually seem to just like get Hulk out of the picture as fast as possible because he's too powerful. But I don't know what made me pick this one up. I think the first issue is Peter David and Dale Keown, which just seemed like a really good team to me. Maybe it was a slow week on books and I needed to try something new, but I picked it up and I loved it. Like absolutely loved it. Loved all 3 issues of it now. But basically the idea of this book is that I think it's a prequel to Future Imperfect, which is what introduces the Hulk, the future Hulk, who's Maestro. And so basically the Hulk just wakes up in the far future. He's been on ice basically for decades, I think. And he wakes up and the Earth is just terrible. It's, post-apocalyptic, awful. Most of the heroes, I believe, are dead. The people.
So it's a lot like 2020.
Like what? Oh yeah. Yes.
It's like right now. Yeah.
Right. This book it's about last week. But it's great. So you get in this issue, the Maestro is actually Hercules. So Hulk gets to Hercules. Hercules is just like, he's oppressing these people and with no goals for anything other than his own pleasure. Just sex, drugs, and rock and roll is all that Hercules cares about. And Hulk sees this basically. He's like, well, I could fucking rule these people. It doesn't have to be this idiot Hercules. Like, I might be able to actually make things better, but I am going to be in charge. And this is basically where Hulk makes that turn. So really good. You don't. I never read anything that relates to this before, so it's not necessary. You can jump right in with Maestro 1. I think it's a 5-part series. Just really good. Peter David, who's been writing comics for probably 40 years now, at least, is still very good and has like a good modern voice. They don't feel dated. Like sometimes you get these guys who were prominent in the 80s writing books now, and you're just like, wow, you write books like you wrote books
Frank
in the
Miller.
80s. But so yeah, so Maestro 3 from Marvel, highly recommend it.
Eitan, you're getting a couple questions in the comments. Robert Beggood's saying, have you read Planet Hulk? And Sean McInnes is saying, Eitan didn't read Old Man Logan?
Oh, I read Old Man Logan.
See?
But that's not a Hulk
It's not
story. That's a Wolverine story with like
Yeah.
fucking hillbilly Hulk descendants, which I love. I love that. I have not read Planet Hulk, actually. I've meant to for a long time. I read a lot of, I was reading Marvel stuff around it. You know, I was reading New Avengers, and I think I read Illuminati, and I read a lot of stuff that I think led to Planet Hulk, but I didn't read that story. Should I? Is it good?
Yeah, so you read the stuff where they like took the get rid of Hulk thing to the extreme, where they literally just launched him off the earth. Yeah.
Yes.
That was such a good idea, though, and like
Yes.
not like, oh, good idea on the Illuminati's behalf, but a good idea for storytelling. It was fun.
Yeah, I like that idea. This guy's fucking dangerous. Let's just fucking send him into space. Get rid of him.
I loved Planet Hulk. I also loved the validation that when they came back during the Civil War and like no one could beat any of them, it just made it seem like Planet Hulk was just like the nastiest place to get trained and to get beefed up. It was so cool. Do you remember that big fucking like bug dude that came back with him and no one could kick his ass? Like,
Yeah, that was like
it was
World War
ridiculous.
Hulk.
Yeah, it was so good. Okay. I think Cody, you next.
Oh, cool. So, a really hot book right now, and with good reason, is Something is Killing the Children. This is issue 11, and it's amazing to me that 11 issues in, James Tynion and Werther Dell'Edera have managed to they have never lost your interest. You want to know what's going on. You want to know what's going to happen. But something unique about this series is that they always offer just enough to make you question what the hell you just saw. So in the middle of this issue, there's like a conference with like one of the head honchos of the organization Erica Slaughter works for. And we're just learning these tidbits about these people at a time. And with everything we learn, it's just like, I'm dying for more. And this book is so good at that because ratchets up the tension, offers more mystery every time. And I won't spoil it, but there's something that happens in this book that's kind of just mind-blowing because you're like, wait, like this isn't all that we thought it was going to be. And also, why the hell does everyone have a stuffed animal that talks to them and has like a spirit in it? Like literally, we have not even addressed that, and we're 11 issues in. Like, this is why I'm a slave to this book. Like, I can't let it go. I want to know why there's teddy bears with creepy glowing eyes and like shiny tentacles.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what the fuck is going on. So it's amazing. It's and the artist and the colorist, just like the moods that they capture, just been consistently terrifying to behold. Like, here, let me make my shit bigger. Something about this creative team is just like the most atmospheric shit I've read in a long time. It's just like every turn of the page is like this impending doom that's so unique to this book, and I can't get enough of it.
And it's like the art is so action oriented. Like it doesn't seem polished. None of the coloring seems really, it just seems like very fast and very frenetic. And like you said, I've never been more okay with knowing as little as I know about a comic this far into it. It's really, really, really captivating.
Yeah, like it sounds like I was describing a problem, but I love it because it's always just a little bit you learn, and then you're like, I think I know where this is going. You don't. You really don't. And that's cool ass storytelling right there.
All right.
Oh, no way. Julio, we have to talk. The octopus teddy is explained. It's a spirit she caught and put into the teddy. And what issue was that? Do you know? Tell me.
But
why?
we don't know. That's awesome.
It really is. Yeah, those teddies are something else, man.
So for people who want to catch up, who, you know, we obviously don't have all 9 issues of Something is Killing the Children. We do have volume 1, soon to be back in stock. I think we might have sold the last one today, but we'll get that back in.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. We did we sell out of the masks too?
I think so. Maybe
we
we
did.
have one left, and I don't think we can get more of those. So
Okay, then I won't tell you guys about the cool shit you can't have.
yeah, it's not cool. It's not even that cool. It's just really.
Yeah,
really
it's terrible. Yeah, it's embarrassing, really. All right.
Julio says issue 4 or 5. Good to know. Thank you. I clearly need to revisit some of this. Thank you.
Thanks, Julio. Thanks for the details. All right. So I have a really cool one for my last book to share, only because this franchise has a very special place in my heart. I don't know if you guys have ever read Dune by Frank Herbert or the 8 following books that chronicled this galaxy. It is amazing. So Dune House Atreides is actually done by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. It's Frank Herbert's son, who picked up the reins after his father passed away and continued to write novel after novel of back history about this galaxy or this universe that he was building. It all centers around this planet called Arrakis, which is Dune. It's known by Dune to the locals, where these gigantic sandworms create this stuff called spice, which allows for safe intergalactic travel. It's kind of like if you were to warp and you didn't have the spice, who the fuck knows if you'd end up inside a planet or wherever else. The spice allows the navigators to fully see ahead where the ship's going to be and get you there safely. So it is the most valuable substance in the entire known universe in this book series. The story picks up years before Dune. It gets into a couple of the main characters from Dune, the Baron Harkonnen and Leto Atreides, are these 2 kind of patriarchs of the families that are going at each other's throats. This picks up early on when Leto is still being trained to become a duke by his father, and the Baron Harkonnen is trying to enact his stranglehold on Dune. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. I love this book. The series, the comic was great. You get all of these cool hits of like old characters and names that you've read years ago that you finally get to put a face to. It's really, really cool. And the art is not half bad. I mean, the story's great. It's almost got kind of a humanoids sort of feel to it. Humanoids impression.
Who is the artist on that?
The artist on this is Dev Pramanik.
Okay,
Illustrated
no, I
by
don't recognize that.
Dev Pramanik. Yeah, I'm not familiar either. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're involved with some of the humanoid stuff. I mean, it really, really feels like that imprint. I'm going to show you guys my favorite page from the book. So there's this thing that happens called a spice blow, where when a pre-spice mass, so as the spice is developing in the sand, if a bunch of sand trout, which are these like slimy worms that turn into the big sandworms, when they swim around in this spice deposit, it creates this giant, basically sinkhole that explodes and destroys all the machines and people around it. It's awesome. So you can see here, people are getting real nervous about this this spice blow that's about to occur, and then the star. That's a sandworm, y'all. And these fucking desert riding freemen from Dune, they ride these things across the desert. So I don't know. If you want some dope sci-fi stuff, there's novels to back it up. There's like 30 books that you could read. I highly recommend it. Dune is the shit, and we've got a lot of cool covers, and read it.
Right, and what people should remember when deciding, like, do they want to read the Dune comic, do they want to read the Dune books, or watch the Dune movie, is that comics are better than books and movies. Just always better, no matter what. So read the comic. I mean, it's obvious. Read the comic.
It's true, actually.
It is.
It's true. Neil deGrasse Tyson just tweeted that. He just said that on his Twitter. Neil deGrasse Tyson said the comics are better.
Yeah.
Scientific.
Yeah, I think I've heard Bill Nye say that too.
I think so. I think so. I think I remember reading that.
But it's also kind of cool. I should mention, like I was saying, his dad wrote all the Frank Herbert wrote all the books. Brian Herbert picked up after the fact, and he wrote a bunch of prequels. What's cool about this is it's presenting it in a way where you get the prequel information first. You get a little bit of a foundation in this world and what the terminology and the players are. There are dozens of planets with different species and different abilities and focuses. So it's vast. If you like it, this is a good place to test the waters. This will let you know if you want to read more Dune. Cool.
Okay, well, I think that we've all made it through our books. These guys got to get back to fucking work. They're still on the clock. They got to clean this place up. This one needs to be spotless by tomorrow. Just kidding.
In 7 minutes.
This is the idea, is that on Wednesday nights, whenever we can, we're gonna hop on and chat about the books that were our picks for the week. And I think most importantly, though, these two fellas, I'm pointing to them, but that doesn't mean anything to you guys because you guys can't see what I'm pointing at. But they have a new show starting on Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30. It's got some long, ridiculous name. They're gonna talk about books. They're gonna talk about comics. It's gonna be awesome. I'm going to leave them alone for at least the first episode. No promises after that. But 6:30 to 7:30 on Thursday, every Thursday. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you all are too. And that's it from me. And if these guys want to say anything, do it.
Hey, Sean, you got it, bro. Cody Bot and Kev Bot gonna duke it out next time. Other than that, hope to see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be fun. If you don't join us for the live, you'll be able to watch it later. But if you do join the live, you'll be able to drop comments, ask us to talk about things you want to know about, things you haven't been able to see. I don't know. I think that's probably the coolest part. So we do have a little plan. We have stuff we're going to tell you about. But if you want to know about something else, we're happy to derail. At least I am. I think Cody is too. Maybe
a little bit. But what I wanted to say is, please, if you guys can, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a huge help because we can't even get a custom URL without like a bunch of. It's really silly, but it'd be a huge help if you guys have a YouTube account, even if you don't use it. Just go hit subscribe, and then also comment on this video and just tell us what you thought. If you like it, feedback is highly appreciated. But yeah, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank
Say
you.
goodbye. This was fun.
Thanks, host Cody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Cody.
welcome. Thanks everyone for coming. I had a lot of fun.
See ya.